Hi, welcome to my video on simplifying square root radicals. Method 1, greatest perfect square. And this is part 1 of that method. Method 1, find a factor which is the greatest perfect square. List the perfect squares from 1 to 230. 1 squared is 1, 2 squared is 4, 3 squared is 9, 4 squared 16, 5 squared 25, 6 squared 36, 7 squared 49, 8 squared 64, 9 squared 81, 10 squared 100, 11 squared is 121, 12 squared is 144, 13 squared is 169, 14 squared is 196, 15 squared is 225. You should memorize all the perfect squares from, as you can see, up for the first 15. That makes the simplification of radicals by the greatest perfect square easier. Simplify each. Square root of 1 is 1. Square root of 16, 4. Square root of 49, 7. Square root of 100 is 10. Practice. Simplify each. Pause and see if you get them right. Pause the video, work out the answers, and play it back. Square root of 4, 2. 36, 6. Square root of 121, 11. Square root of 4 again, 2. Let's make that square root of 64 is an 8. Square root of 225 is 15. Square root of 81, 9. Square root of 9, 3. Let's make this a 9. Square root of 49 is a 7. I left out the 9 there. Each of the above square roots are rational numbers. What if a radicand is an irrational number? A radicand is the number underneath the root. So what about if it's irrational? That means you can't do the square root. The decimal is not terminating or repeating. Find the largest perfect square factor of each. So I'm going to take you through a system now, but I'm going to do one piece at a time, and then we'll go to the next video and you'll see why I'm doing this. The largest perfect square in 8 is a 4. The largest perfect square in 75 is 25. The largest perfect square in 200 is 100. The largest perfect square in 27 is a 9. Practice. Pause the video and see if you can find the largest perfect square. 32. The largest perfect square is 16. 18, 9, 50, 25, and 147. Well, this one's a little bit trickier. I see a 7, so I see 7 into 14 goes 2, 7 into 7 goes once, so that's a 7. 21 is 7 times 3, so the largest perfect square there is 49. In 147. Okay, let's continue. Factor each with only 2 factors such that one of the factors is the largest perfect square. So 20 is, the largest perfect square is 4, so it's 4 times 5. 99, its square root of largest perfect square is 9, so it's 9 times 11. Largest perfect square in 75 is 25, so it's 25 into 75 goes 3. And the largest perfect square in 56, and if you can't see it, notice it's even. So if you take 56 and divide it by 2, you'll get 2, 8, and it's even again, so the largest perfect square, 2 into 28, is 14. So the largest perfect square is 4 times 14. Largest perfect square is 4. practice. See if you can do these. Pause the video and work the 60s out and play it back to see if you're going to get it right. So we want to do the factor of 32. Largest perfect square is 16. So 16 times 2. 45. The largest perfect square is 9. So it's 9 times 5. 300. The largest perfect square is 100. So it's 100 times 3. 40. The largest perfect square is 4. So it's 4 times 10. 98. The largest perfect square is 49 times 2. And 125, the largest perfect square is 25, and 125 divided by 25 is 5. Next part, write each as a squared times b squared. So the root of 4 times 7 is the root of 4 times the root of 7. B, the root of 9 times 5 is the root of 9 times the root of 5. And the root of 49 times 10 is the root of 49 times the root of 10. And practice means pause the video and work the 60s out to see if you're going to get the right answer. Press play when you're ready. So that's the square root of 16 times the square root of 2. The square root of 100 times the square root of 11. Square root of 25 times the square root of 3. Square root of 36 times the square root of 5. Square root of 81 times the square root of 2. Square root of 9 times the square root of 7. And you notice if you took a calculator and worked these out, every one of them, if you call that 60, 7 nines are 63. If you did the root of 63 on your calculator, and then you did the root of 9 times the root of 7, you get the same decimal numeral. Let's continue. Just a little note. 3 root 2 is the same as 3 times root 2. It's understood to be a multiplication. 5 root 7 is the same as 5 times root 7. Only you won't see this written down as a multiplication. You'll just see 3 root 2. That's the same as 3 times y. So the root 2 is the same as a y. 5b is 5 times b. So that's 5 root 7 is 5 times root 7. So the multiplication is understood to be between the number and the radical. As I say to students, you don't see a plus sign, you don't see a multiplication, you don't see a plus, a minus, or a division here, so it's understood to be a multiplication. Let's continue. Simplify each. So practice. Square root of 4 is 2 as a root 7. Square root of 9 is a 3, root 2. The multiplication sign is understood. Square root of 100 is 10, root 3. Square root of 16 is a 4 times, 4. I'm going to write a multiplication sign. So it's 4 times root 11. Sorry about that. And E, square root of 81 is 9, root 5. Practice, work out the 9 of these to see if you get the right answer. Here we go. And when you're finished, press play and see if you're right. Square root of 25 is 5, root 3. Square root of 49 is 7, root 2. Square root of 121 is 11, root 5. Square root of 9 is 3, root 3. Square root of 225 is 15, root 7. Square root of 4 is 2, root 6. Square root of 36 is a 6, root 10. 169 is a 13, root 15. And square root of 64 is 8, root 2. Note, there's no multiplication sign written between the number and the radical. Note, understood. 3 times root 3. 5 root 7 is 15 root 7 is 15 times root 7. Some radicals cannot be simplified since they do not have a factor which is a perfect square. Notice you can't simplify 7 because you got a 1 times 7. 22 you can't simplify because it's 1 times 22 or 2 times 11. 15 you can't simplify because it's 1 times 15 or it's 3 times 5. 10 is 1 times 10 or it's 2 times 5. So notice all these, you have no perfect square as a factor. And there's many ways to do 30. 30 has no perfect squares, so 30 could be 2 times 15, or 30 could be 3 times 10, or 30 could be 5 times 6. Or you could also say 30 could be 2 times 15, and 15 is 3 times 5. So if you break 30 down into 2 times 3 times 5, there's no perfect square, so you can't simplify 30 or 15 or root 22 or root 7 or root 10 any further because there's no perfect square. That leads us to some steps to simplify radicals by taking out the greatest perfect square. The next video does more work on that and takes you through the steps again, but in a sequence. If you like my video, click the like button, click the subscribe button and the notification bell. Write a comment on my video if you wish, and visit my math website, www.mathfullyexplained.com. And you have a section on me, which is my degrees and teaching experience. Section on video talks about the strategies you're going to use to help you learn your math. The content section has the topics and the number of videos on those topics on my YouTube channel. The black font is what's online right now, and the red font is the topics that will be there in the near future. Thank you very much for viewing my video. Bye-bye.